You want to work on laning. Are we doing mid lane or top lane Akali?
Mid.
Mid lane Akali, okay. And I wanted to know, do you have any like matchups you feel comfortable with, or any bad matchups you want to practice?
I seem like I really struggle with when I'm playing up against like an Annie or like an Oriana.
Okay. And any good matchups that you feel like you can consistently either kill or get CS leads ahead of?
I think I do pretty good with like Zed
Into
or
Zed? Okay. Anyone else?
mm, I don't know. I
Okay.
don't know.
Alright. So then I'm gonna start this game off with Zed. Kind of see how what you perceive or this kind of good matchup looks like, and then we'll go into the bad, and we can
Okay.
kind of take a difference there. Um, and you've been playing since season 5, correct? And it looks
Yeah.
like season 7 you started off bronze, and then you climbed up to silver.
Yeah.
Okay. And what are your goals? Is just to get a certain rank, or just feel better about your laning phase, or what?
Um, I think my goal is like to like try to like climb more, like and like to learn like how to like kind of like try to be like more better, or like at mid or like in the game in general.
Okay. So more improvement. Okay. So we're gonna start this up. I'm new to Annie's. Gonna be jungling just to make sure you have some jungle pressure, right?
All
Because
right.
I want to see how you deal with that. He's gonna pick one of the more popular jungle picks,
All right.
um, so that it's. I've told him try not to cheese you too much. I'm gonna go play Zed.
All right.
Um, do you have any questions about the mastery or the new runes or what you should be taking? And what you
I
think you should
think
be taking?
um I think I'm good on that.
Electrocute sorcery is what you
Yeah.
typically do. Okay. And
Is Dark Harvest good right now?
um, I guess I don't know. I don't see it too well, but I think electrocute you lose a lot of your burst without it, like without electrocute. To just be a
Oh.
different.
Oh
Um,
yeah. Okay.
it would be for a different playstyle. I could see it in top lane.
Because like electrocute, it's like it does more. It like deals more like burst with three auto attacks or three spells.
Yeah, and all right. So um, he will gank sometime. I'm gonna look for about do the first 10-15 minutes of this, and I will see how you do, and then what's gonna be on the YouTube video is gonna be kind of my perspective of what happened.
All right.
All right, so um, ignite. Okay. Do you play Akali top?
Sometimes I
Okay.
usually made her mid lane.
Okay. And you've been recently playing jungle and ADC just to try out some stuff?
Yeah.
Okay. What I have seen from your season, like just across your seasons, is you're just dying way too much. Very rarely you're getting anywhere close to like a 2.5 or 3 point KDA. Rarely are you getting there. And that just tells me you're going in for like 1-for-1s a lot. I mean, this last season, your Akali is actually pretty decent, but as looking at historically. Alright.
And that's like another thing. Like sometimes I don't like really know like when to like actually go into for like or like know or like I can kill someone or like want to go in at like the right time.
Well, typically in this matchup, or really any matchup, you gotta kind of know their cooldowns and their abilities, as well as what they're trying to do. So Zed is kind of an interesting one because if you push him under tower, he typically farms well, but if you get pushed under tower, at least early game, you do an alright farm under tower. You have a little bit more constraint since you don't have the empowered autos when you're low. But that's the biggest thing. So like for Annie, after she throws a Q, you have a chance to go. So if she goes farm with a Q, you can go throw a Q at her. Okay, so this just means I need to wait it out. Okay. Good. Okay. You could pop a health potion here. Because, yes, you have your regen, but you don't. Okay. So really all I'm looking from my perspective is to kind of farm it out. Because you've been getting better trades off early game. So at this point, you see that the lane's pushing in, and you can get ganked. Right, so I'm trying to keep it center, and this is just a laning issue where you kind of pushed a little too fast.
So I should start like freezing the lane.
Or slow pushing, because you got like 6 minions, so I was even able to just throw abilities at it, and I could clear the wave. So now it's gonna push slowly into you. Right. Right now our wave collided. Yep.
Oh man.
That was good. I mean, that's a high variance play from so you just kind of got lucky there for bad jungle, or bad mechanic there. You did a pretty good outplay there. Okay, so now you're under turret. but you didn't respect my range. So you got too greedy for the cannon creep, and I was expecting you to move in for the cannon creep, and I could plan my damage output there. And remember, and that was without level 6. So at this point in the game, it's very dangerous for you.
Yeah.
So that that was some of the problem. So you're going to ward, that's good. And so I have your wave pushing into me. Oh, walked a little slow. Ooh, so at that point, you wanted to throw your Q to farm, because notice how I'm trying to keep it over on this side, and that's keeping you from farming. Okay, so I pushed because I was harassing you, and now I'm gonna push you under tower. Or I'm gonna walk my minions into tower. You're under turret, you have your ult, but so that this is a decent spot to be where the jungler can't get you. Oh, messed that up. Alright. And at this point, all I have to do is keep out farming you. Because with a 40 CS lead, that's killing you essentially twice. Or gold advantage. Good. That's a decent trade. Okay, so you're checking your lane. So that one was another one I would have taken the cannon creep, that's an extra 40 gold, and that Q onto me doesn't ensure any gold. And so now the effort's on you to make something happen. Because I'm happy with just farming, or I could even roam. If this was a real game, I could just go roam into your jungle, I could go roam bot lane, get a double kill. So that you kind of have to plan strategically on when to go in. Typically you want a minion advantage. and where the jungler is. So you right now you have a minion advantage, but you don't. Do you know where the jungler is?
Yeah, I saw him.
Okay. So you gotta kind of think. All right, if he shows up, can I either get out or outplay? Because again, I'm just cool with like hanging out here farming, because I can keep tripling your CS.
Alright. Ooh.
Oh, you got the return kill though. So that was pretty good. I could have played that better, but you got the kill. I'm still up 60 or so CS, almost 60, and
Yeah.
you're gonna hear that I'm gonna harp on you about that all the time, because that is the most consistent way to get gold. And so if you can't hit the benchmarks for CSing, it's going to be really difficult for mid lane, because you also get a lot more farm. You could be taking chickens if you know that Xin hasn't taken them or their jungler hasn't. And such. So we'll go for a few more minutes in this game. So again, I'm that was a decent, but kind of overstepped your bound there, because you didn't need to try to attack my ward there. And so all I'm doing is applying mental pressure, and so is Zen. And he essentially made you miss a CS or two by just showing up there. So that it's kind of awkward to keep staying in there, because my E hits almost all your shrouded area. So I didn't exactly know where you were, but Duskblade in my ult procs, and it can get a little awkward there. And so now I've snowballed out of control, just in this way, right?
Yeah.
All right. So what do you think you could do better in this match?
Like oh my god.
So one thing I do notice is your item pathing, and your summoner choice. Ignite did get you a kill, but I think exhaust would have been a lot better, or teleport, where you say, all right, I'm gonna lose the lane, but I'm gonna out farm you. And so now I get this CS advantage again, because I'm able to freeze here with really no pressure applied to me. Another thing you could have started was Doran Shield. The jungler's just kind of going ham. Right, you've seen this before in Silver, where your jungler goes in while your mid laner doesn't help your jungler. Usually that's because the jungler's going in when a fat wave has arrived. And so alright. So we're gonna exit now.
Alright.
So, summoner choice in the matchup, because we talked about the Zed into Akali, right? Just in like solo queue, you'd kind of know what you're getting picked into. Well, you sort of know what you're getting picked into. So taking that exhaust or a teleport would have helped, as well as going into a Zhonya's first. So yes, you want that gunblade. It's great, but you didn't have the armor to survive anything. I like the start on cloth armor, but you didn't really build into more armor after that first kill. And notice Xin and I were both 80s, so that Zhonya's kind of helps you survive both of us. Because think about, do you want an extra 20 damage on a Q that you're going to only throw once, or do you want to throw 2 or 3 Qs in a set of battles, or instead of a skirmish? Well, that's saying, well, our Q has base damage, and we need to make sure we account for those base damages. So that's why building defense is super important, especially when we're losing lane, or kind of get cheesed with an early kill. Building that little bit extra defense, especially in this preseason where a lot of champions have lost their armor in Magic Resist.
Alright.
So like if I died first, I would think about a Hex Drinker based off of the situation. If it was me just standing there dying, I might not buy a Hex Drinker, but if you just like wrecked me and that, I would open Hex Drinker and even maybe Merc Treads. Even though those aren't necessarily Zed's core, I need to get through the laning phase without dying as much. So that's going to be one of the things. So this game I'm going to do Orianna, and we're going to see how that goes. If I can find her. And I don't really want those, so I'm gonna go sorcery. And let's go. Alright. And if I know I'm in a Akali, I'm probably not going to just go. I could go Ignite, I could go Exhaust, Ghost. I have a lot of flexibility as Orianna, but you might want to think about your summer choice. And we'll talk about it afterwards. I want to see what you choose, or what your gut kind of tells you to choose. Okay, barrier. Okay. Alright, so what do you think you're going to open with in this matchup? Or what do you think, based off of Ori as a champion and my runes? What are you thinking of opening?
I'm gonna buy a Doran shield.
Yeah, Doran Shield would be pretty good.
Yeah. Because like when I usually play like actual games, I usually buy like Doran shield against like more like AP champions.
Mm-hmm. You could do Dark Seal and potions, and that gives you a lot of sustain, but you're gonna be 80 HP squishier. So that's up to you, how comfortable you are with managing your potions and your trades. And so do you find yourself struggling more with ranged or melee champions in the mid lane, or both? It just depends on their power.
Yeah, I think I mostly like struggle with like ranged champions.
Okay. So if you noticed, I'm respecting you with the exhaust. And so I am throwing my abilities so I don't pull aggro. Oh, missing a CS because I'm garbage. And you got a nice early gank. I didn't even tell him to do that, but think about if you also have to account for the jungle matchup, because in all honesty, mid lane is a 2v2 lane, because the mid laner and jungle should be closely knit. And so all I'm doing is walking up. If I can hit you, great, or I'm just applying mental pressure, where I'm saying, alright, I could hit you, and now you're being skeptical of what I can do. Oh my god. Alright. So just walking up there kind of gets you. At this point, you might think about just maxing Q and ignoring E, since I've not let you really use E at all. Right, so I'm trying to assert myself by walking near the ranged minions, and so this is just general knowledge for if you're ever playing a ranged champion or something, where I am showing you that I know I'm winning this, and I'm gonna make sure you know it as well. Good. So I'm trying to get you to respect my damage. Okay. I would definitely be focusing on CS, not harass, because at this point I still haven't burned through any of my potions. And so, did you get that last one? I couldn't tell. Okay. So I'm pushing you off this dying creep, because I know you kind of wanted to throw a Q at it, and I'm saying you can throw a Q at it, but you're going to lose some health. I think you got the creep there. And I'm playing up pretty aggressive because I know I don't have a jungle, but ooh, you barely made it out of. Okay, so that was pretty good.
Jeez. Always coming.
Outplay him, outplay him.
Jeez. Get out of my way.
Alright. That was pretty good. And so even though, so this is one of those things in silver, and even sometimes in gold, like the jungler made a weird play, and I didn't follow up because it's a high variance. It's a very high variance play, and I want to say, to climb, I want to actually play consistently, which my last hitting isn't right now, but so these high variance plays I don't really want to go for. Because I'm totally fine with just choking you out of CS.
Stuck on the
So I'm looking if I have kill pressure on you, so you need to recognize that, because you're kind of low. Oh my god, I'm going to keep missing some minions. Now you gotta think, alright, does she have kill pressure? You don't ever want to back in my vision like that, because that gives me too much opportunity to go bother you. And so you are walking in the same pattern, and let's say I was a different champion, I could be shooting skill shots over there. And so that's just a, oh shit, that's just a kind of bad spot to be in, especially if you don't know where Jarvan is. Because if he QEs into that little corridor, that's a little awkward for you. So here I've not let you got CS for about 6-7 minutes. You're still at 13 or 14?
Whoa. Like spike, hello.
And I knew you were kind of itching for some CS. Now then you died. You had, I believe you had flash, right? Or did you blow it with Jarvan?
I blew it with Jarvan.
Okay. I thought you had flash up, but I didn't see you flash, so. Now I'm gonna push that wave in, recall, and now I have a really nice recall, and you're at 14. So I would definitely look into some MR, do something along those lines, because at this point you need to just survive the lane. So MR and maybe a refillable if you have enough gold. I think you should have enough gold. Refillable potions, especially if you are going to be going back and you want to recall.
Sorry.
That's alright. Another opportunity here for barrier, you might have wanted to go TP into this, because you were sticking around for a little too long in a lot of cases, because you were just kind of hoping for the Doran shield to help keep you healthy. And the second I throw an auto at you, it undid like a minute worth of Doran shield. So, no, I was zoning off there. So again, don't walk there. Don't walk there. So that was pretty good, but oh, he didn't have ult. Okay. So this is where you want to go back. You're not getting much. You got 1 CS, and I can still. He could either repeat gank you, or I can go kind of hard onto you. Even though you're gonna lose some damage to your turret, it's better than dying at this point, because right now you need to just farm something. So it's about 10 minutes in, and right now even if I didn't kill you, even if you killed me twice, I would have about as much gold as you. So think about that. So I'm gonna stand here. I'm actually gonna stand kind of next to the minion, so you might misclick and hit me. If you misclick and hit me, that's pretty good for me. Okay, so good. That was just sloppy by me. Oh, Jarvan. All right. You didn't want to stick around there. So,
should have backed.
Yeah. Because what were we gonna do? Like, I was either gonna take your turret, and you being there is high variance, right? Even if you had a jungle, and support, that would have been pretty high variance. All right. Do you know what Orianna's trying to do as a champion?
No.
Okay. So some of it might be that you don't. Do you own Orianna?
Yes, but but I don't play her at all.
Okay. Do you understand her? There's a Q in the ball, like it's her and the ball, and anytime the ball passes through you or lands onto you, it does damage.
And she like recast it also.
Yeah. So that little shockwave there, but even if I shield you and you're in there, I can. And I kind of knew where you were going with that, and so I'm going to put you behind, and I'm going to grab first turret. Now this is where, in a real game, your jungler would either be camping you, because typically they do in silver, or they would be camping another lane. So this is where, and I haven't seen you play in a real game, but you don't really want to ask for jungle assistance here, because you're I think a super minion right now might do more damage, just because of how low farm you are. So that's good. You didn't stay around to find out what happens. That's good. It just means that I get to just keep asserting pressure. So this is where seeing what you want to do is helpful, or at least from what I've learned is actually very helpful. So if you notice, Akali, right? Akali isn't known for her great laning phase, so it's all about survival through that laning phase. Because the second you get equal CS, for me, that's really solid for you. If you got equal CS or close to it, if you were at 100 and I was at 125, that'd be totally fine. Because Akalis are typically below CS. Not all of them, and it depends on the matchup, but now so I'm gonna ask you this question. Should you go in at this point? Yes. Why should you go in? Because I was just clowning around. I had 200 mana. I know you might not be familiar with Orianna's mana costs, but they're fairly expensive. Her ult's 100 and So I could throw like 2 Qs or 2 Qs and E and be about enough mana there. Okay. So that is just something you need to recognize and say, oh, I'm looking at your mana bar as well. Let me go pull the trigger, because you're being a Muppet. And you're going to see that a lot in silver games, in bronze games, and even gold games, where because I had a lead, I just started essentially trying to push my lead incorrectly, where I was starting just kind of throw my champion at your turret or at you, because I'm saying, oh, I have way too many, way too much gold, and I can just do whatever I want. And you're kind of putting me back in line. And now I'm putting you back in line. So now you're going to keep looking for opportunities. And in this type of game, I would definitely be trying to farm a side wave, since you do not want to be in lane with me anymore. Good. You got it. Good. But at this point in the game, I can just, I have just a little too many items for you to deal with. But now at this point, I'm staying longer than I should, so you might be able to make something happen. You might be able to. So this is where you kind of have to check what's happening. So one, I have more minions than you, so that you got to take that into account. Yep. I have a jungler. Good. But I'm saying, oh no, I'm still good. I'm gonna take this.
Oh man.
And that is where kind of knowing your damage outputs wherever you are. Alright, so we can exit out of this game.
Alright.
So I know we're going through a lot and you're not seeing exactly what I'm doing, but we are kind of hitting some crucial points here. So is there a champion you haven't seen anything about, or
Zerath?
Zerath? Okay. Well, let me think. Do you know how to play another champion besides Akali?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm gonna play Akali, and I'm gonna, to my best of my ability, show you what the laning phase should look like.
Oh, sorry. Oh, I said I used to.
Just go swap sides. Or actually, I can swap side. No. I'll swap side. Oh my. You swap side.
Okay.
Alright. So I'm on the same side as you. I'm playing Akali. And I don't know what matchup I'm in. Let's do... Yeah, let's do this one. Is that anytime? Heal when you... Yeah, I probably need that. This one. That one's good, and I'm actually gonna go with here. And I'm gonna do that. Oh, gotta tell him. Uh, ch -ch -ch. Um, Alright. So he's just finishing up his pick. So I play a fairly defensive Akali because I know eventually her damage is going to kind of carry me, right? Because she has pretty good ratios and she has hybrid damage as well. So I know once I hit that Gunblade, maybe a Lichbane, maybe a Zhonya's, I'll be pretty set to go. Alright, I like the exhaust choice, right? Because especially on Yasuo, because it allows you to duel quite well. Alright, yeah, we'll do that, and we'll do this, actually. So, what is Akali trying to do here?
She's trying to like essentially like get you low.
She is, but let's think before level 6. What is she trying to do? Well, do you get many kills before level 6?
Not much.
Not really. Not unless they mess up a lot, right?
Yeah.
So we're trying to do consistency. So 1 through 5, unless the opportunity's like right there, I'm probably not going to be able to like one combo you, right? Where I just throw an EQ out, maybe a few autos in between. And this one's a little interesting because of the reach. Yasuo has a little bit less reach than the other two champions I've played, but good. So that's good, you're pushing me in. And so you actually wanted to kind of escort the wave so it hit the turret, because now I'm in a pretty good spot. That might hit the turret though. Oh, missed a creep. Oh, creep block. And you're giving me a lot of respect, and so you have a bunch of minions. So in this case for Yasuo, that means you have a lot of dashes. That's all that means. But it still doesn't mean you get to just trade. Because you have to think with Yasuo, how are you going to get in and out of this fight? So now I've pushed you in. And I'm zoning you off with some CS. Oh, gonna get hit by your ult stuff. But notice I'm just keeping up with you. I'm actually a little bit ahead. And that's all I'm trying to do. It would be great if I can get ahead of you. Alright. How does this lane change when I hit 6? Or when you hit 6? Either one of us.
You have an escape from like any minions. Like at your turret if you want to go in.
Yep. So I'm just trying to play a little clunky. Who's gonna hit 6 first?
Probably you.
Why?
Because you have a CS lead and you have more experience.
Well, do you get experience from killing creeps? So if I kill more creeps, does that mean I get more XP?
No.
No.
That means you get more gold.
Yeah. So XP is just that I killed them before you. So, notice how you have a few... Oh. You have a few creeps up. Good. Alright, but you got 6 first because you killed the creep first. Good. Now at this point... Just thinning my wave out. And then there's the silver lucid. Alright, so my wave is pushing. Alright, so you're gonna... Looks like you're staying around to try to outplay me. Well, what do you think you could have done instead? If I'm just freezing here.
Could have gone back.
Yeah, you could have gone back, bought some items, and then killed me. But because now you're in a predicament where either you let me to get some free CS, which you kind of already are. Ooh. So if I was a better Akali player, I would have not taken that turret shot, but... So that was pretty good. The exhaust really came in big for you, right? So that, I wouldn't say that was a bad decision. The staying, if you were, so I've noticed if you were at full HP, one, probably wouldn't have gone in, and 2, if I did go in, I would have died there. So that's where, that going back about 2 minutes when you should have gone back would have actually been really helpful for you. So that choice of not going back actually killed you.
Interesting.
If you because really all your choices in League are going to have consequences, and that consequence might be that I get like 1 creep, but it might also mean that I kill you, which is a lot worse of a consequence. So is Yasuo strong at this point?
No.
No, what does Yasuo need to get before he can kind of go toe-to-toe with Akali?
Yeah, he needs to like farm up more and like have like oh my god, more of a lead.
Oh. Ah. Alright, so you get the kill. Does that mean you can duel me now? Just straight up 1v1?
No, not yet.
No, because you still need some items. Also think about my sustain versus yours. So I can just kind of weave in and out, and now I've actually won the lane. I mean, for most parts of the lane. Oh, I missed the cannon though. Rip.
Oh, that's the stage.
Do I live? I think I do. Yeah. I took another turret shot, but yep, the cannons always bait you. So that's just a problem with getting behind and then thinking, oh, I need to get that extra gold because I'm behind. That's just a mentality thing. Just farm up, and the farming itself is just a factor of going in customs and practicing with her. That's why you see me last hitting garbage, like pretty garbage. It's because I haven't played Akali for, I don't know, 6 months. And you should have stayed in the farm, yeah, because I just denied you 2 creeps by just being there. Yeah, can you really fight me?
No.
So don't ult if you can't fight me. So really that comes with Akali as well. Because Akali, if you ult, you're kind of committed, right?
Yeah.
So, has this been fairly helpful to see what you kind of? I know it's just one game, but it's see how I'm moving my avatar. I'm not doing anything really fancy or anything super difficult. I think you've played very similar. It's just holding back and practicing that CS and using the Q when I have kill pressure on you, or when I was behind, I just was using my E and my Q, if you notice, spamming that to make sure I kept up in CS. And I still have TP, just in case I was going to lose this lane. Or if I wanted to go affect the map in a different manner. One thing I would definitely check out is maybe even put some points into E, because it is a really nice CSing tool. I don't know your build path exactly, but I'm gonna let him do his thing. You could probably duel Lee Sin, but can you duel me at this point?
Nope.
Alright, good. Just making sure, because the last time you tried to ult me, that didn't. I think we were on different pages about that. So now I'm gonna just stand here, look scary. I'm gonna look scary. Look scary. See, all I'm really doing is just looking scary. Oh, gonna take a turret shot, but because I'm playing Akali and I have passive lifesteal and spell vamp, I'm all good. And ignore the Lee Sin. You can kill him. By all means, kill him. And now, how are you gonna get out of this? Good. Right? So that was B capitalizing on his mistake. Going in. Even though it screws up like the lane, because you lost the first turret, but we need to be able to capitalize if they make mistakes. You walked into that queue. Just FYI. If you didn't dash, you would have done that. Alright, so we can exit out of this game.
Alright.
So that last one could have been a kill onto me. It's hard to say. But we can't do these weird coin flip, right? Especially on an Akali where if you lose, you're gonna really lose, or if you win, you're gonna really win, but there's no in between. Well, a lot of your games are gonna be in between, and so now you're relying on the rest of your members to do something productive, and that's not always the case. All right, so I think this will be our final game, if you have time for that. Alright, so I want you to get back to Akali.
Right.
And what champion do you want me to play? Or do you not care?
It doesn't matter.
Okay. So then I'm just gonna pick one of the popular mid laners.
Alright.
Alright. Alright. I'm gonna fair warn you that I'm garbage at this champion. So, please feel free to take advantage of me at this point, when I play this champ. And we'll do, I don't know, this one and that one and that one, because alright, I'm ready. So this I feel like is an interesting matchup. Akali Katarina. Have you seen many Katarinas in your game?
Yeah.
Okay. Or into you? I like this matchup because it's versatile. Right? Because early game Katarina does a lot of damage, and then there. So you take TP, which I think is good, because just in case if I get a good kill onto you, like an early kill onto you, you can recover from that. Or late game you can just TP, you can be pushing a wave side wave, getting that extra farm, TP and assassinate, or just push both situations. So we'll do that, sure. All right. You do know what Katarina does, right? Like the.
Yeah.
All right. Just me. I don't know if I know what she does, but. So, and you can see this a lot in your solo queue games. You're gonna see the guy who does first time TF or the first time this. And you need to be able to take advantage of this. So I'm going to be spending my time kind of learning the champion. I've played her before, but not to any success. So I maybe if you see, oh, this guy's played 2 games and he's had a 0% win rate, or if this is the first time, or there's no data about it, if you're op.ging them before games, which I would highly recommend, you'd be able to see, oh, this guy, I can kind of predict that he's new to this champion. Oh, wow. The last hitting on this is so garbage. Yep. Oh, nice. Yeah, you should be popping that potion a little earlier, because you're a little too close to ignite range. Like, ignite auto might kill you. Well, not anymore. And so this, make sure you're clicking on the champion's profile to see either how much HP they have or the armor. Something along those lines, because that's a super important information, especially when you're dueling someone. Right, you have more creeps than me, so I shouldn't duel you. So right now, how are you feeling about this lane? What are you thinking?
I need to CS then hard hacks.
There we go. Now you can fight him inside the creeps. If you weave in and out of his creeps, you can kill him. Yep, or make him flash. Yep. So right there, you pretty much have swung the lane in your favor. And so now it's me, and I have to think, okay, well, how do I come back from this lane? Well, as most cat players, I'm just buy Dark Seal and hope to roam or something. Right, I'm at equal CS, but you have a kill ahead of me, so it's the responsibility for me is to either out CS you or go roam, do something. Oh, okay. It scales with level. Alright, the Dark Seal was a nice pickup, because now you get to snowball. 4 health potions is a little excessive for you, because you're Akali and you have built-in lifesteal. And right now, you should be walking right in front of those caster minions, telling me that I can't go. Yeah, because if essentially you're controlling the game here, and that would be where you want to use your E, right there. You'd want to farm with E there, just because of the possibility of hitting both of those creeps. Okay, walk up to those casters. Make sure I know whose lane this is. You'd probably kill me right now if I walk out too far. Oh, rip. You're getting a level lead. That's good. You're keeping my CS fairly low. Alright. Do I get you? You need to be popping a potion a little earlier. Yeah. Because that way you would have been a lot closer. Good. Overall, that was pretty good. I just screwed up there. And so that's where a lot of times in silver you're going to, and really up until plat or diamond, you're gonna see people kind of do things that might work, but if you play well enough, which you did, won't happen. Like, it just won't happen. Because remember, the onus is on me to kind of figure out a way to do this. Alright. I think I jumped to you instead of my dagger. Alright, you need to show me while farming. Can't neglect the farm. Yeah, perfect. I'm pretty sure I'm a little too close, but oh, you barely survived. Alright. I don't know if I did that any sooner. I might have been able to kill you there. But that's actually a little scary. So all you're trying to do is kind of heal back up. That was a pretty healthy thing you did. Oh, good. Good, you waited out my dagger. That's really good. And so now I'm gonna like flame my jungler and his mom and everything because I've died 3 times to you. So, there. Now I'm gonna say, well, let's try getting some MR and seeing if I can survive this lane and catch up. So if you notice, I haven't fallen too hard behind. You've killed me more than I've killed you, and I'm still trying to keep up in CS, so I just know CS is going to win me this game. That's all I'm thinking at this point. Or roaming is going to win me this game, not killing Akali. Right, so I'm going to look for opportunities to do that. You have Cutlass. You're just tanking creeps for no reason. There we go, kill him. Oh, you ran out of ults, okay. Good. So, one, you know the Lee Sin, well, one, did you know Lee Sin was around mid? Because the second, or you should have known that when I dipped into the bush, I was saying, alright, like, come fight me over here, because my friend Lee Sin's here. So I'm gonna just build 2 defensive items and see where you go there. Yep. So you could probably get to him, but again, we don't want to get too greedy, because if you get too greedy, you lose your lead. I think CS you could get a little higher. Alright. Yeah, that was an interesting dip. Good, you're healing up. Notice you have sustain, I don't. So I should be harassing you, but my harass doesn't do damage, because I've had to itemize defensively. Now I have to either tank minions or something like to farm, so none of these options are what I want to be doing. No, good. Oh, alright. Just the last thing, you had flash, so you could have flashed sideways.
No, I didn't have flash.
Hmm? Oh, you didn't?
I didn't have flash.
Oh, you didn't? Okay. Yeah. You like, that was a little linear. You would want to weave for him, because you know he... I guess I'm trying to say, you know where he wants to try to hit. Right? He wants to try to hit you, and if you're walking a straight path, you're going to give him all the prediction he needs. But at this point, yeah, escaping there would have really been a good kind of motivator, but you're 3 levels ahead, so I have no way of really fighting you 1v1 unless you like just stop moving for a bit. And I'm just playing kind of a dangerous game. Still trying to catch up and farm. I could be roaming if this was a legitimate game. So if I push out the wave, or if I even concede mid lane, because I know, okay, Akali's gonna just keep stomping me. I'm gonna want someone else to defend her, and usually that's your duo in bot lane. And even on, I think you have lethal. It's where you gotta pull the trigger. Alright. So was that worth?
No.
No. Why'd you go back in?
Oh man. I had no escape.
You could have ulted to a minion and gone up through the jungle or something instead of standing my ult. Because even though I don't do much, you stood there for about 2 seconds, maybe a little bit more. So I'm saying, one, it's good that you went 1 for 1. I mean, and out instead of going 1 for 0, but I definitely think you could have played that better. Because now, instead of being the 6-1 Akali, you're 6-2, and then you're to keep kind of doing these 1 for 1 trades, and eventually it won't even matter that you stomped me in lane, because if I can kill you, I'm good. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So you have the right idea. Yep, good. See, I'm just dorking around in mid lane, and you punish me for it. So I'm trying to make sure you see punishable moments. So, any questions about this? So, I mean, you have Lee Sin around. That was a good dodge, and I think you definitely can kill him. Especially when he went back in. Then we're gonna go in again. Just want to take note, even though you've been stomping me, still only 20 CS behind. So that's where even though I'm 0-7, I have
Still CS lead.
well, not a CS lead. You still
Not lead, like up in CS still.
yeah. I'm still able to maintain my my numbers, right? Regardless of, because even if I get wrecked this game and then win the next game, I will be able to consistently hit these numbers regardless. 'Cause at this point I'm almost inting, like, holy. Oh boy. That's creep block, alright. Alright, Lee Sin's like just soaking my XP. Yeah, you heal for a lot now. Oh. That was just another coin flip played by you. Because you saw Lee Sin just sitting there, and we were just kind of waiting to coordinate something. So we could have easily given you a double kill, and so we were coin flipping, but when I'm behind like I am, when I'm essentially inting, I'm okay with a coin flip. Does that make some sense?
Yeah.
So you never really want to coin flip, nice, and you have a TP, but you, and what I mean coin flip is there was a 50% chance that that could have given you a double kill, and likely that we were gonna be successful. Crumb, I built the wrong. Alright, well, I'll do this one, I guess. Alright, so you got the first turret, good, and now you're gonna keep pushing your lead here. Okay, you recognize that there was something fishy going on, that's good. Probably should have got more cooldown reduction. So you TP'd, got the turret, and recalled, it looks like. That's all. That's a pretty good choice. You got Sonya's. That's good. Yep. Good dodge, because you know he's just going to shoot it kind of straight. And now onus is on you to do something. This is where like a team fight would happen, typically. It's happening.
Oh, I didn't use Zanya's.
Yep, gotta use your. Did you use Gunblade though, right?
I don't think I had Gunblade in that fight.
Oh.
I think I used it when I was dueling you.
Okay. And so, even like just a pick like this would have, that could have gotten an inhib at this point. So that was the decision to kind of stay around once you saw that Lee Sin Q. I would have just kind of started walking backwards. Alright, but we're gonna get out of this.
Okay.
And was this helpful?
Yes, it's pretty helpful.
Okay.
So I see some of the mistakes that I've made.
Okay. But the biggest thing, CSing, and CSing under pressure, where you're kind of just